I'm not ready.
It is September 13th, 2021. This is Atlanta United FC Weekly, a Home Before Dark podcast. Oh, I am Tim Herb. As always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Mr. Kevin Bradley, on the screen if you're watching on YouTube to my right. Mr. Dan James down below.
On the bottom where he belongs.
How's it, gents? How's
Power
it?
bottom. Power bottom.
Dan is power bottom.
Yep. It's great. It's great. It's where the top derives most of its power.
Yeah. The air tires. The power's all derived from the air tires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly, Tim did not get the memo. Dan and I coordinated tonight, and here we are.
Here we are. Yeah. I don't remember. I haven't bought an actual game kit in what seems like a couple years. I'm trying to think, like an actual game kit. I have the original, the original Five Stripes. I have a Strawberry and Concrete. I don't have a King Peach, and I don't have the new 7 Stripes or 9 Stripes or whatever it is.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got the last kit I got was the new away kits last year. Not super crazy about we'll get the replicas of the new home kits. I just really, really hate the tramp stamp on the back of the kits, the home kits, the past 2 versions. I don't like them at all. And I get that like the name set helps fill up the space and all that. I just don't like it at all. I don't think it looks good.
I think the new one looks better. The one from last year with the tramp stamp, it doesn't look great.
Yeah.
But the new one, I think it looks fine because it's thinner and it's just a little bit of accent.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about the gold away kit. You guys are wearing the King Peach, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's not our away kit. We have something very slightly different than that. Anyway, want to report in from the trap. We got Richard Gordon, Michelle, Kendrick, Brock, Benjamin Ficus on Twitch, just giving us hell for talking about MLS. Gully Cuban, we got Gabe Lajas. Hope you're doing okay, buddy. Thinking about you. Nathan Explosion, Bradley D, aka Kevin Bradley's D, Anthony Neitzel. Thank you guys for watching and tuning in on this lovely Monday evening. We're back in full swing after the international break, and it feels good to be back, boys.
Who would have thought that we would actually beat Orlando? I didn't think we would do it. I didn't think we had it in us. But
Did I call a win, Kevin? I can't remember.
To be fair, Dan, you and Tim both thought we would beat Orlando.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Tim thought we would win 2-0. Very close there with Araujo scoring both of those goals. Dan called 2-1 Orlando. Sorry, I read that wrong at first. You did not think we were going to beat Orlando, so you were right. You called 2-1 Orlando with Joseph scoring the lone goal. I called the draw 1-1. So Tim picking up 3 big points there, much needed. Dan falling behind. Oh no, you picked up 1 point because it was 2-0, not the full 3-0.
Wait, what? How did I get a point? I thought I said 2-1.
No, I said Tim got a point, not 3 points.
Yeah, I called 2-0, not 3.
Yeah.
Oops. Oh well. But yeah, I mean, who would have thought we would have beat Orlando? Yeah, that was a hell of a performance, and I want to put an end to this. No longer is the first half of the home leg against Philly and CCL our best half of soccer this year. I think this game was the best we've played the entire year, and we fucking dominated, and we capped it off with 3 points, like 3 absolutely solid points.
Yeah.
I would say it was a perfect game. I mean, it was almost a perfect game. So, we beat Orlando, shut them out, scored 3 goals, dominated in pretty much every positive statistical category. and just played him off the park. It was beautiful. They just didn't know what hit him. Nani was wandering around like an idiot. And,
what's crazy is that the game, especially going into that matchup where the lineup was without Joseph Martinez and without Miles Robinson, I think Miles Robinson's absence was the one that had me more concerned, defensively speaking, and not knowing what that back line was going to do. We've seen the back three and how that rotation has looked, and then all of a sudden you got George Campbell coming into the mix and wondering how he was going to step up, and then lo and behold, not only did he step up defensively, but he scores the goal opening for the team overall, which was phenomenal, man. Great, like you said, great performance all around. I couldn't be happier there. So
I want to just call out the imposing figure that is George Campbell. Like how scary and bombarding he would have been for that center back, whoever it was that whoever he scored on, it just completely bossed in the 18. Like, he's fucking massive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
honestly,
I think
that was Tim, to your point. I mean, that was Carlos Antonio and Jansen who were the CBs, and they're not small guys.
No, not at all. And Carlos Antonio is a guy who people talk about being one of the best, if not the best, center backs in MLS. And he didn't look at this match. I'll certainly say that much. I think that we made their back line look pretty piss poor. Who were they without anybody for this match? Obviously, they brought in Chris Mueller in the second half.
I thought DK might have been out, but he played the entire game.
Was he there? I don't. Yeah. You could have fooled me.
DK got subbed in the end, but
he got for Tesho, right? Yeah,
Galese was out on international duty. But no, I'm pretty sure it was a first choice lineup. Maybe Joey Desart. Well, he's kind of. Joey Desart
was out apparently, from what Carlos Rangel was saying. Pedro Galese was out.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh, did you say that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay, Kev. It's okay.
I can't read and listen at the same time, man. Come on.
That's why I don't listen to podcasts while I work. Is because I can't pay attention. I can't read with my head and with my with my ears and my eyes at the same time. It doesn't work.
No, they had a first choice lineup. They had Mueller, Rosell, and Van der Voorde coming off the bench. This was a first choice Orlando lineup, but I mean, classic Orlando mental fatigue breakdown. We've seen it, I think, most seasons, and every time they've played Atlanta United prior to the 2020 season.
The good news is Mike German's here to tell us that Atlanta did play a false nine, which is good. I'm glad you were able to remind us. Oh no, or maybe it was two false nines, but they definitely played a false nine. Thanks. We wanted to talk about that for sure. So thanks.
Yeah, I'm glad that we've got that here first before anyone else.
I will reiterate. I think I've said this on the show. One of my favorite parts of Atlanta United Twitter is the battles that Mike German chooses to pick with Josh Bagriansky, our buddy over at Miles of the South. It's fun to just watch them because they don't give each other an inch.
Nobody backs down. Nobody backs down.
Nobody backs down, and it's fantastic to watch. And I just start I want to be in a room together while they're doing this, not over the internet. Need to
set up. Maybe we just need to. We need to let them. Whenever they duke it out, we just table it, and then we bring them in for a segment at the end of the show, so they can just say final closing statements, basically. From
I want to, or I play Chris Hansen from To Catch a Predator, and I trick Josh into coming onto the show only to bring Mike German in. Only to have Mike German waiting for him.
It's German. He's furious we're pronouncing his last name wrong.
There was a pretty contentious topic, and Josh was definitely we can talk about that later, because I want to talk about Barco's performance as a whole, but that whole hill that Josh is dying on with regards to Barco has been very interesting to watch, and I think it might be just intentional Twitter fodder. But anyway,
sorry to be on during Monday Night Football. To Star Stress's point,
Sean, who's even playing Monday Night Football? Oh, It's are the Giants playing? Is that why you're saying we're animals? Does anybody actually like the Giants? Are they good?
No.
I don't know.
No, the Giants played yesterday. Never mind. Oh, yeah, they lost to the Broncos. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah.
I didn't even pay attention to the Falcons this weekend because I knew it was going to be utter shite.
I don't think that they paid attention this weekend. So I saw some tweet that was like, Falcons tickets, $200 a seat, parking, $80, concessions, $10 with 5 $2 hot dogs. Leaving the game in the fourth quarter to beat traffic because they're losing, priceless.
Good grief. Yeah, that was pretty miserable to watch. Yeah, not kidding. That O-line's fucking terrible. Yeah.
I don't think anyone's teams won this weekend as far as NFL goes. Colts didn't win, right?
No. We played the Seahawks, granted, but it was pretty I don't know. We don't get the games here. I'm not buying an NFL Sunday ticket.
No.
Not playing any Colts games in Atlanta.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I'm in Brittany S's boat. I don't watch American football anymore because of the Falcons and Atlanta United. And, I like to watch real football.
The commercial breaks are brutal, man. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Oh, it's every, it's just all the time. Every time out, every play. The fact that TV timeout is a thing, it just irritates me.
It's awful.
I love that the American culture has their own ways or wanting to do ways that will annoy like Euro snobs in soccer, which I think is great. Like the pathway penalties, miking guys up while they're playing. That's excellent.
Yes.
But I mean, all this
playoffs.
Junk, yeah. But all this junk that happens with American football is like, well, it's kind of just, it's whatever. It's the same. But I guess this is kind of new to me. However, I wish that we would take one thing from baseball and have the races around the track, because that is the best halftime entertainment I've ever seen.
The beat the freeze,
or when they had the Home Depot tools.
Oh, dude, that's
it would race. That was
bucket or suck it.
Hashtag bucket or suck it.
I mean, that's where the real money from gambling occurs in this country, is the Home Depot or the races of the characters.
So, Dan, I think you've got to answer up for your transgressions and sins against humanity. Apparently, we do have somebody joining us in from Twitch.
They're just giving us all kinds of shit. Like one of the things
trolling the entire time.
What did they say? My favorite that they said is Benjamin Ficus on Twitch saying, "To be honest, it's great to see the entire fan base of Atlanta United come together on the same live stream." Meaning there are 3 of us. Yeah. Hilarious.
100% confused by the guy at the bottom supporting Atlanta whilst having a distinctly non-American accent.
Yeah, I know, that's just like how the world works. So
yeah.
No, trust me, Dan's every bit American.
Sorry, I don't fit in your box.
He was 100% Brexit, so much so that he left entirely and moved to the States. He really bought in on it.
Yeah. We have a new name in the trap, Mike Holcomb. I think it's a new name. First time I think I've seen him on in YouTube.
Are you sure it's not just Bill Holcomb?
Ooh, maybe it is.
It definitely
no, is it? Maybe it's Bill's brother. I think that might be Bill's brother, because I think he was watching on Twitch or on Periscope earlier. Anyway, he said worst thing MLS could do is go down to 2 30-minute halves like they're discussing. Is that a thing?
What? What?
Are they gonna get? They got orange slice breaks every 15 minutes.
There's no way.
Yeah, I'm not into that. They're just trying to do it to get more TV ad revenue.
There's no way.
No, that it's like the two. I mean, I'm not down with the World Cup every 2 years. I kind of feel like that's just a little bit too much, but I get it. It's a money grab.
Yeah, for sure. Look, they're already doing it with their quote unquote start times for matches. Whenever they put it on the schedule at 7:00, it doesn't really start until 7:30. It's getting a little bit ridiculous at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't really bother me.
I hate it, man. I hate it.
It means I can just have kind of like, oh, Mandy, I'm watching the game. it starts at 7, so I set it on.
Sweetie, look look at the guide. The guide says 7. The guide says 7.
It's not my fault.
Pre-game is still game, right? Like,
not my fault. Not my fault.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the game, boys. So what were your? I mean, we all agree, fantastic performance. Standouts for you guys individually, whether individual players or, just overall thoughts, standouts for you for the match in general.
The Dandouts. Go ahead, Dan.
Luis Araujo makes me feel tingly inside.
Oh yeah,
his play.
Yeah.
Are you talking? You're talking about his play, or are you talking about?
I'm talking about his play. I'm talking about his thighs. Though people don't like to say that Tito has someone who's a thigh successor to Tito. I think he's getting there because he likes to pull his shorts up.
Yeah. In the words of Percy Herrera, "Skies out, thighs out." So that's
absolutely, totally agree with him. Man. I think
the man knows how to write a narrative, that's for sure, because the suspense is killing me for him to score that first goal, dude.
Yeah.
The Benz is going to break. He's got 2 back-to-back home games coming up to try to get one. It's got to happen, dude. It's got to happen.
It's good, but it's just the goal, like the confidence that he has. Like when he was, I think it was like the 20th minute or something, he's on the sideline against Moutinho, and he just... he's standing him up, and then Moutinho looks like he gets the advantage, but then Araujo just dicks him, punts the
takes
ball.
It's coming back towards R18 just to turn around, meg him, and run back the other way before he can even respond to it.
And then he runs away with lollipops or the step overs, no look pass, and then it's just like, oh wow,
yeah.
Good job, Bocanegra.
Yeah, no kidding.
Whoa.
No
yeah,
kidding.
well, credit where credit's due. Like,
Absolutely.
I mean, we've given him enough shit. Like, he really has hit on this transfer. It's crazy. I think I was telling Kevin this. I don't know that we've had a player be as confident as he is on the ball and be as skilled as he is on the ball too. Like,
because that was always the thing with, like, for me with Miggy, it was like, yes, he was talented. Yes, he was skilled, but he was so erratic. It was like, what? It was like electric in some way because he was so spontaneous. It felt like whenever he was on the ball and he was so quick. Like, Araujo is just a completely different personality with the ball, and it's a different type of electricity, Yeah.
He's willing to take a shot from anywhere in the opponent's half, it seems like. But I mean, and he's having other effects, it seems like. Well, this is a little bit speculative, but someone was saying Steven Perales in the trap, Araujo, but Rossetto played like a different player. And Rossetto was, I think he was interviewed in the post game, and he was saying it's nice to have someone who can talk the same language as you because they're both Brazilian. And it seems like because Araujo he seems just more like a positive presence, that's surely rubbing off on Rossetto as well, and they're both helping each other. One's coming into the team as a new player, and one can guide, and the other's just like bringing energy. And Rossetto, I mean, today on Friday he played amazing, but he's just played a little bit better and better in the past few games. Yeah, definitely. How much do you think Araujo talks shit in Portuguese to Moutinho? I hope so. Like, I hope he just you're talking about having somebody who could speak your language after just absolutely dominating him. I mean, poor João Moutinho, man. I mean, he's just not had a good career against Atlanta United. No, he got thrashed in, what is it, 5-0? The LAFC game in Mercedes-Benz. And he got sent off. Card. Yeah, that was rough. João Moutinho, different João Moutinho, both from Portugal. This one, he was the #1 overall pick for LAFC in their expansion, or in the first Super Cup draft, I think. In their first draft. Really? Yeah, I think so. Which was so weird that they traded him immediately, like after one season or maybe a season and a half or something like that. But I think he had potential, but he was young. But now we're seeing that, I mean, he has some positive qualities, but it doesn't seem like he's put it all together yet. Yeah. What about, I mean,
to go back to George Campbell, like the guy looks every bit the Miles replacement that
we're going to need. Need
that we're going to,
because that's really where we're headed at this point.
Right. I mean, there's going to be a gaping hole the size of Miles Robinson in the back line. And honestly, if what we saw against one of the better teams in the East on Saturday is any indication of what we're going to get from George Campbell, and I think Alan Franco is probably an Atlanta United player as long as he wants to be, and I think he'll probably be here for a while. I think that partnership, if we stick with those three center backs, I think we're going to have them for a while. I think George Campbell honestly might be the next one of those three to move on, just because he's still so young and he's such a big, athletic and defensive, like a very skilled defender. I was very impressed by him. I think I've been impressed with him in the past. We've seen some missteps from him on occasion whenever he's been brought in as a substitute, but I thought that he kind of read the game really well. Obviously, getting off the mark, scoring his first goal. That's his first senior club.
MLS career goal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Seeing that. It was fantastic. I think those two guys to me were the highlights. Being able to see them just kind of dominate in their respective parts of the field.
Yeah, no, I thought he was a real standout player. I mean, I guess there's still some question marks for me just because Orlando didn't seem that threatening offensively to begin with. So I don't think that he was really challenged as much, that he had to be put in those one-on-one positions that we see Miles Robinson come out the better on more times than not. So I think that certainly there is some promise there, but to take a play from Dan's book, I want to see a little bit more. I think he's certainly ready to start that sort of transitional play and get more minutes and more reps. And hopefully, Pineda sees him as a substitution opportunity for Miles whenever Miles is back to playing regularly, and keeps Miles healthy as a result. I would just hate for him to not get any playtime unless Miles is out. And especially with the trajectory that Miles seems to be on. And if we don't keep him going into next year, those reps are going to be valuable going forward. So we'll see. But great showing. I just think that there's still some question marks in what other offenses and what he's capable of in those scenarios that we've seen Miles get the better of more times than not.
Yeah, it's just great to have. I mean, our center defensive depth is stacked, and it's going to be really helpful. We've got 4 games in September coming up. We got this midweek one against Cincinnati, and then DC come to town this weekend. So, I think Robinson's going to be back in the lineup just because he was able to have some rest from all the games in the Gold Cup and World Cup qualifiers he's been playing in. But it's fantastic to have someone as capable as Campbell to come in.
I'm trying to think of a center back legitimately as thick as he is for as tall as he is too. He's such a big imposing figure. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. But we haven't even talked about Barco in terms of his performance in this game, and he may have had the best performance of everybody.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I think. To me, though, I think whenever I talk about standouts, it's like, yes, you want to see Barco continue to develop, and that's sort of the expectation, right? Like he's, especially over recent weeks, over the past, 4 or 5 weeks, like he seems to be playing up to what we've all been wanting him to play up to. But to see these standout performances by the likes of George Campbell, like that deserves every bit of attention and praise as possible, because that's not someone that people were expecting to be put into that position and to have the kind of performance that he did, to allow Barco maybe a little bit more freedom to take some of those chances and to create some of the things that he did as a result. So, but yeah, to that point, talking about boat, talking about the boat. Yeah, I thought Barco had a hell of a game too, man. Again, it's just top to bottom. I feel like everybody had a really great performance. But Barco finally getting on the end of one of those free kicks, even if he got a little bit of help from Orlando putting it in for him. But, yeah, man, if you had doubts about his first goal, the second one didn't leave any doubt. That's for sure.
Man, that third goal for the team, good grief. The thing is, if he had if he had not scored, imagine all the haters like Tim saying how much he's just horizontally dribbling back and forth.
Oh, I would have been one of them too.
Yeah.
Don't believe it.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a real tight angle. He had a lot to do to score that goal.
He really did.
There was, and we've seen that sort of stuff from him miss or get saved by the keeper a whole bunch of times. So, it's just great that he's managed to pull it off, and he's growing. Like every game, he's growing, and he's getting that confidence behind him. I feel like he's becoming the guy that we need him to be to get that $30 million transfer.
Yep. And then he's going to stick around just to become the villain everybody needs, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever the phrase is, right? He's going to stick around long enough to become the villain. No, I mean, it is amazing what a string of good health, knock on wood, a string of good health, a competent manager, and also capable players around him will really do. I mean, I think the link-up play that we're seeing with the attackers right now is the best we've seen in a long time. I feel like it's not just fun to watch again, but it's very like I'm getting a little too ahead of myself when I look at the table and I'm like, we're 1 point out of the playoffs and we look very dangerous.
I've been saying it for months, man. The back half of Atlanta United's schedule is very favorable going down the stretch. Very favorable. I agree, Tim. Like, it's hard not to get ahead of yourself. The question mark was knowing what the schedule was for Atlanta and knowing the back half of their season, the last 15 games were against the bottom 5 opponents that they've got, and several with 6-point swings with the few that are ahead of them. Like, you just didn't know how they were going to be performing. So to see them win 5 of their last 6, and one of which was against a quality opponent, against Orlando, as much as it pains me to say it, you've got some real data to back that up now, and a trajectory that you can start to hopefully see continue whenever you've got some really favorable matchups coming down the stretch.
Yeah, I think I was texting with you, Kev, before the game, and Orlando, they only had 8 more goals than us, and they're in second.
Yeah.
And well, they'd scored 8 more goals, and they'd only conceded, I think, 2 fewer goals than we had before the game on Friday. So it seemed in that regard we were a lot closer than I thought we were. But in listening, so I listened to one of the Orlando City pods, and they were saying that Orlando City, they don't score a lot of goals, which is obviously true, backed up on their goal count. And you would think a team like that, if they're really gonna make a push for to go deep in the playoffs, you've got to be scoring goals.
Yeah,
there are very few teams that have made it so far in the playoffs without scoring those goals, because I don't think their defense is as rock solid as they have been in the early part of the season.
Well, I mean, no, you don't think so though? Like, I mean, I don't know. I guess on paper they have a very skilled back line, but I guess we made them look piss poor on Saturday. Sorry, Kevin, I cut you off.
I was just gonna say, I want to take everything. Like, yes, Orlando is a quality opponent based on their standings, and I guess to try to play a little bit devil's advocate to my own point, which is that Orlando's run of form over the past 6 games has not been on the same trajectory of Atlanta United's. I think we sat here last week and talked about that they haven't won a match in their past 6 games. I think they've taken a draw in 4 of their last 6 and lost 2, I think. So
no, they had 1 win before us.
Okay.
Right before us against Columbus.
Right. That's right. But aside from that Columbus match, you have to go back a little ways to see their last win. So again, it's not like they've been in their best run of form either. So, all that said, Atlanta's currently on a really good path, and the back half of their schedule is very favorable. They've just got to keep going, man. Every game's a must win. I don't know who said that in the trap. Elliot Beaven, every game's a must win, and it absolutely is right now because there's 8 points separating second from 10th in the East right now, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean it's tight, man. It's super tight.
Yeah, Kev, we're 8 points behind Orlando.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and more realistically, we're 4 points from fourth. We're 4 points from a home playoff game, right?
That's crazy.
It is pretty crazy to think about. And another team that I think we may see make into the playoffs is pretty much our counterpoint, the aforementioned LAFC in the West. I'm calling it right now. Atlanta United versus LAFC in MLS Cup final.
No way. No way.
All right, let me write that down. Tim said.
Somebody pull up the clip, get the receipts, write down the receipts.
Is that in the Benz, Tim?
Yeah, it's going to have to be, right? No, I guess not.
I don't know.
We're on the exact amount of points. They are 8, 6, and 9.
It doesn't matter. Where do you think it's going to be?
The Benz.
At the Benz. All right.
Yeah. It's at the Benz.
All right. I've wrote it down in my notebook now.
I wonder what the odds are on sportsbettingdime.com to get for that matchup. It's probably not very great. Probably make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, they did. MLS posted the betting odds to win MLS Cup on Instagram just a couple of days ago. Did you guys see that by any chance? I'm sure you know, obviously, who the favorites are right now.
No, why don't you read them off to me, Kev?
Okay. Well, I know that New England was the favorite. New England's favorite right now from the East and overall. At plus 450. Seattle Sounders, I guess, leading the West at plus 500. So just slightly less.
That's pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the rest of the top contenders, which is interesting because this came out 3 days ago, which would have been, I guess that was probably right before the Atlanta United game. So in the top, I'll just do the top 5. So it was New England, Seattle, Sporting KC, Orlando City, and Colorado. So, yeah, I don't know how Orlando's standings in that is holding considering their recent results.
Yeah. Holy shit. Nashville's like 2003, 2004 Arsenal. What's the year of the Invincibles, Dan? Is it 04?
I don't know.
You don't know? You're British though.
Yeah, but I don't care about Arsenal.
But they have 11 draws.
Wow.
They have drawn half of their games, and we're almost half of their games. We're 23 games.
I was going to say, Atlanta United was on the same path up until their recent couple of games.
Yeah. No, we have 9 draws.
Exactly.
But we've won 5 of it. I guess that's crazy. We've won 5 out of our last 6, and we still have 9 draws.
Well, Nashville have only lost 2 games. They're the team with the fewest losses in the league. Yeah, they're one to watch. But Orlando, they're slipping a little. We'll see how the next few weeks go and see where they end up. But I think we need to talk a little bit about Inter Miami. They have a game in hand on us on 29 points.
Yeah, very true. But I think we've got how many? Do we have any more matches against them? No, we don't.
We have 2, I think.
Yes, we do. You're right. We have 2. So that'll be a big swing there for sure.
Yeah, I mean the games to keep an eye on now for us are Inter Miami and DC, and I guess we got a game in
Montreal
Philly as well.
And Montreal.
We got to play Montreal again. Oh,
yeah. Those are all big time matches there.
We're gonna finish 4th. We're gonna finish 4th. So? Yeah, I think so. I think that might be what I said at the beginning of the season. I don't remember what
you definitely did not say that.
Did I say first?
Yeah.
Did I say first?
I am pretty sure you said first.
Call me Captain Sunshine Pumper.
Let me see this. Regular season finish in the East. Tim said first, Dan said second, I said third.
All right. Well, somehow we're going to pull it off. We got 12 games to make up 21 points. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, interesting thing about Miami. I mean, in the past 5 games, they've won 4, and those have been Chicago, Toronto. They drew with Orlando, FC Cincinnati, and Columbus. So they've all been beatable teams where they've got this boost in points from. But then they've got to play, Toronto, so they should beat them. Red Bulls, Nashville, us, Timbers, Columbus. And I would imagine at some point Columbus are going to find some positive swing in their play because they're a very good team. They've got a very good coach. I imagine they will step up in form in the next few games.
I feel like we've been saying that all year, though. Like I feel like I've been trying to defend how good Columbus has been the entire year, and they just are still. Where are they at? We have a game in hand on them, and we're 3 points ahead of them. So.
Well, they started really good, and then it was it's kind of the end of July, and then they just went on a 6-game losing streak. Well, and then won 1 game and then lost the other 2. So, I mean, that's a pretty heavy streak, but you would think that, there's some pretty radical change in mentality or something that they've got to change something. Like surely it's a little bit of like, well, let's not try and panic too much. Let's just try and right the ship and get some momentum behind us. But man, they've got a tough road in. God, they've got Red Bulls, New England, Montreal, Philly, and into Miami, and then Nashville. Oh, so they may not.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. To Jay Henneball's point, he's asking, does Columbus make the playoffs? Yeah. I don't know. You guys going to the game on Wednesday? I think Coach Steve was asking in the trap.
No, I'm a little burnt out on the midweek games. They've just come too fast and quick over the past couple of weeks. So after Friday's match, I think I'm gonna miss this Wednesdays just to try to get some stuff done around here. So.
Yeah, I probably won't because I've got. Oh, I'm hoping to go rum tasting Wednesday. So
where at?
It's my buddy's house. Oh. We're putting together like a larger rum tasting, so we're kind of like sampling some things to prepare. We're practicing. Wow. We're practicing.
Wow, that's fun.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I get him.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
Cool. Tim's never going to another game again.
No, probably not. And our buddy Andy Watkins, he sent to our group chat. He's like, "You guys remember, check your times. We got the emails today for relocation times." It's like,
oh yeah,
I missed those days.
Yeah, I think, I think I might relocate. I'm keeping my tickets, but I'm thinking about relocating potentially.
You going to go to Nashville?
No. Oh my God. Can we talk about that for a second?
What?
Fuck that preseason match we had against Nashville 2 years ago because I'm still getting season ticket holder emails from Nashville FC on a weekly basis, and I am sick of it.
Unsubscribe.
I have. Just like everything else, they just keep coming.
Report them. Report them. It's in strict violation of canned spam. Like that is
ridiculous.
Report them, blacklist them. Their CCP social credit score will go down to the point where they can't.
So annoying. It looks like Chiefs coach Steve has been getting the same thing.
Well, that was a while back, like probably year 1, where we reached out to the Orlando City front office to try and get press passes to go down there.
That's right.
And for like 3 or 4 years, they wouldn't stop bugging us about season tickets. Same deal. And I get emails about PSLs for the Falcons. Like, I've never talked to any one of you. Like I can't afford this anyway. Like
no.
Like the seat license for the cheapest thing's probably more expensive than my season tickets to Atlanta United.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid. Mike Holcomb was saying that he looked at the seat map today and it's sparse out there. That's interesting. I wonder how much.
I think there's going to be a precipitous drop next year.
I wonder how much of the season ticket line or whatever, the waiting list. I wonder how much of the waiting list has gone down.
I wonder how much of the waiting list is holding. I wonder if people like got the emails and were like, season ticket list is available. And they're like, nah, I'm good. Let's just wait this one out a little bit. So,
oh, yeah. Oh, that's pretty great. Benjamin Ficus, the guy on, for those of you guys, nobody's on Twitch, but he was saying, he's giving me a lot of shit. He's saying, who's the greatest player to play in MLS, and why is it Ibra? And it's not wrong. You're not wrong. He's probably the most talented player to ever grace MLS. He's not wrong, but he's in Sweden, so that makes sense why. He's watching us in Sweden at 3 a.m. and hating on us. That's like, it's like I hate the
most flattering thing I could ever imagine.
It's like I hate scroll through Twitter, but like getting on Twitch to find a stream to watch for 30 minutes,
dedicating 40 minutes to it, no less. That's not just like I was in the bathroom scrolling through Twitch to find something. That was a very specific search criteria on Twitch to find a podcast to listen to. So thanks for hanging out with us for a little while.
That's actually pretty great. They probably still have sunshine right now. It's like the sun hasn't probably gone down in like 3 months. So
yeah,
or maybe it's the other way around.
Yeah, what did Ibrahimovic win while he was in MLS?
About as many. Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm not saying he's the greatest MLS player ever. I'm saying he is the most probably the most talented, and I think absolutely the most accomplished player to ever come to MLS.
Yeah, he did go from like top tier clubs to LA Galaxy and then went back to AC Milan. So, I mean, not many people have done that. So
that's very true.
did better going back to AC Milan than he was doing in MLS, which is at like 40 years old or 39 years old.
Right.
The man's a monster.
Cool. Well, did you have any concerns coming off this game?
Well, I think my biggest concern is less so about the team as a whole and more so the position the team is in Cincinnati, luckily it's against Cincinnati, but the yellow card accumulation for Sosa and him being out at a depleted position for Atlanta currently in that role, I think that's my biggest concern going into Wednesday night's match is I don't know who you put there with him being out right now. There's been some talks that Ibarra's been training, I think.
Oh.
I think I saw that somewhere. I could have made that up, or he was at least
I think Doug had reported that.
Yeah, he was there but wasn't training, like he was running but wasn't training or something like that, like the week before last, I think. So if he's ready to go, that would be awesome. But other than that, I don't know who else you have. Tyler Wolff, right? Is that our next man up there?
Well, it was good to see that Mo Adams got a few minutes.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
This last game. So, and then it looks like Sejdic is off the injured list, or I think he could.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, that's good.
The other thing, I mean, Matheus Rossetto has been on the ascendancy now for the few games. So I could see that Rossetto starting with either with either Adams or Sejdic. Because both Adams and Sejdic are a little bit more defensive than.
I forgot that Mo was back.
But then does he go? I would probably. I mean, where are they in their recovery? Can one of them go 90? Which one do you start?
Right.
I would assume you would start Adams with the mind of maybe subbing in Sejdic afterwards. But I think that sort of center midfield is kind of good timing right now because you can give Sosa more of a rest.
Yeah.
And then, you can give the other guys a few more minutes.
Back to our predictions at the start of the season. Who gets the most yellow cards for the team? Tim said Barco. Dan said Ibarra. Kevin said Sosa. I think I might be leading on that one too.
Oh, good. Yeah. Even a blind hog finds a route.
2 seasons in a row.
Yeah. So Brittany asked, what Sejdic was injured? Man, that position can never stay healthy. Yeah. I think it was just like a lower thing. I don't think it was anything too serious.
Yeah.
So
he came off. What game was that? 2 weeks ago, I think. Didn't he come off in the game? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
He came off.
What about
the game.
Yeah? What about you, Tim? Any concerns going into the next couple of matches?
No, I don't think so.
How do you think Joseph maybe fit? If you don't have concerns, how do you think Joseph fits in?
That's actually fair. I mean, Mulroney comes out and we reshuffle the deck, right? Like, I mean, that's probably how because we had was it Mike German's point? It was 2 false nines. Is that what he was saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Between Araujo and Barco. Yeah. I mean, I think you just kind of shuffle the lineup and bring him back in. He's obviously the most integral figure that we have. Actually, I don't know right now. Barco might be more integral to our success than Joseph is. But I know that's probably crazy to say, but I think Joseph is recapturing form in the way that the other guys are playing right now, being able to service or put service in for him. I think that I don't know. I think he reinserts pretty well, and we drop Mulroney out of the lineup and shuffle it around, and I think that we're going to be solid.
Do you have any concerns about, like, what I think was interesting about this past week's match was that with you having Mulroney in there, between Mulroney and Lennon and their distribution from the wings, without Joseph in the middle, like, I don't even want to say the words, like, is Joseph necessary in the middle with the attacking power that you have with Araujo, Barco, and Moreno all playing a front three, basically? Like, with Joseph being there too, you've now got a front four and you've got very little distribution over from the left side. Like, yes, Barco's capable, but that's not what he's known to do. You know, he's not whipping crosses in from that left side on a regular basis. And yes, you expect to see Bello back in this week starting as well. And maybe that gives you that opportunity a little bit more there, but just, that's kind of food for thought. Like, and I don't know if that was part of why Atlanta was so successful without Joseph in the lineup, is because there wasn't so much congestion on the offensive side of the ball. I'm interested to see how he fits into this mix. And I think your assumption's correct. Like, Mulroney's going to be the first man out to make room for him in the lineup, surely. But how those front four all operate and work together is something that's still a work in progress, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like Moreno drops a little deeper and hopefully centrally, and you reinsert Joseph in the middle, and then to your point, I don't think you're going to see Barco whipping crosses in from the left side, but you're going to be able to see him making probing dribbles and runs on that side and being able to draw, either have Joseph be a vacuum like a gravity well for defenders on that back line, and then just creating space for Barco to cut in and take shots, or you're going to see the vice versa, where one of them is taking more of the action. But you have a front four now, if all those guys are inserted, where you have like some real like food for thought for an opposing manager coming in and game planning for those 4 guys, because
Nashville did it. I mean, you play a back 5. I mean, that's exactly what they did. They spread their 5 defenders from line to line across the top of the 18. And anytime anybody from those front 4, which is what we had during that match, got anywhere past midfield, they just solidified that wall from edge to edge of the field, and they were able to shut us down.
Yeah, so I almost think you keep Mulroney, but as Sosa's gone, you just swap Sosa, put Moreno back in that sort of spot, and add Joseph to that front 3.
You think Moreno's going to sit that far back, though?
No, he's not. But you would have to either you swap Rossetto with someone more defensive as
that's what I think you're going to have to do. Yeah,
or because you want Moreno to push up. My worry is they have Luciano Acosta, and if we have essentially 4 defensive players, not accounting the wingbacks, because Acosta will roam around, but he doesn't necessarily tend to go to the extreme wings. It just we may not have enough to contain him, but having other options on the bench, you can easily bring someone like you could start with Rossetto, Moreno, Barco, and Araujo and Joseph. But then if things start to get really squirrely with Acosta, you take off Rossetto and put in someone like Sejdic or Mo Adams to kind of anchor things down a little further.
To Brittany's point, Nashville always plays like that with their back five. I don't disagree with that. I think that's the reason why they've had the most draws in the league is they're not a very offensively structured team because that defense is able to keep relative. I mean, what is their goals against versus goals for? I mean, I think that they're pretty comparable to that. Yeah, their goals against is the lowest in the East as a result of that. They've got 21 goals against, which is lower than any other team in the East, and they've drawn the most games out of anybody in the league. I think that speaks to that strategy, and I think that's how you shut down Atlanta is by playing that strategy. And it's not unique to just how they played Atlanta. I know they're playing that way against everybody, but that's what you do to shut down that front four, basically. So.
Yeah, but they've also scored 38 goals, which puts them in like the higher tier of goals for. But we've seen they've been very fortunate. I feel like the 2-0 draw that they were able to pull out of playing us. I mean, those were 2 gifts that we gave them. But I mean, Nashville are a very good team. They beat DC United handedly 5-2. And those are all legit goals.
And I think their goals for Dan are kind of blips. Like those 2 of their games account for 10 of their goals. Like they've had 2 games where they've scored 5 goals against DC United and against Chicago. So it's not like they're scoring a bunch week in and week out. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Yeah.
Either way, they're a good team.
I don't think, to Mike Holcomb's point, I'm glad no one is talking about sitting Lennon. I don't think anybody can make that point for Lennon sitting right now.
We can't afford to kind of rest players. We've got to play our best lineup game in, game out. There's no way around that that I see.
But I do think that we are fortunate enough that in a couple crucial positions, we do have depth to rotate when we actually need to and still maintain a high quality lineup and not be a traditional, half of 50% of the team being subbed out during squad rotation. The likes of George Campbell or Sejdic, especially when you have a player as prone to suspensions as Sosa is.
And Tim, to your point, I think that maybe that's really therein lies the strategy for Atlanta United is, you throw out that front 4, right? Like Mulroney doesn't have to necessarily start. You've got Bello in there. You can rework that midfield like we talked about. But because you've got those pieces, if it's not working by the 70th minute, you can bring Mulroney in and pull, one of those guys up front out. And switch that tactic up and see if that creates some different opportunities. And you've got that flexibility in the lineup and that offensive capability to make those adjustments if needed. So,
and he's the perfect type of, especially for our team, he's the perfect type of power sub to have with his pace to come in and really shake things up whenever the opposing team is kind of downtrodden.
And we've seen him do it time and time again too.
Yeah. I keep going. So do you think we're going to go back 2 or back 3? I'm going to
back 3.
That's what I'm thinking too, because of Brenner and Acosta. And then they also have Barriol and Atanga, who are both going to be getting into the attack. So I think a back 3 is the better way to structure it right now. Plus it also gives you more rest in terms of, like you're not going to sit center backs as often to try and rest them. You know, you want to rest like your wingers or your, you know, basically those guys because they're running all the time. So, but we need all our. I don't think we've got good subs for our top 4 guys.
No,
I just don't think we've got that. So I guess we're doing the download.
Just when you thought it was over.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
All right. Cincinnati, last 5 games. They had a 0-0 draw with Montreal, a 4-0 loss to New England, a 3-2 loss to Columbus, a 1-0 loss to Miami, and then they beat Toronto 2-0. I think it was Acosta with one of those goals, and I can't remember who the other one was. But anyway, they're sitting in 13th. They've got a game in hand on us. They are minus 15 in goal difference. They've got 20 points. They've got a win-loss draw record of 4, 8, and 10. So compare that with Atlanta at 7, 9, and 7. We're sitting on 30 points with a goose egg for our goal difference. We should Cincinnati in the past 15 games, they have 3 wins. That is dreadful. And when they come to the Bends, we're going to be up for it. Unfortunately, Luciano Acosta is probably going to be up for it too, which he's just a guy who always has our number. But, I mean, we should be taking them. Good thing is, well, I hate saying injuries are good, but Kenneth Vermeer is injured, so they've got their backup Titan in there. Hopefully, though we are pretty good at making backup goalkeepers look good, but, I mean, this could set up for a pretty good Atlanta United performance, but you know, you say that and then it just all comes crumbling down. They've had a pretty good, I mean, they've got a decent back 4 with Jeff Cameron, Hageland, Valencia, and Matarrita, who they bought in this season. Junanin and Kubo in the middle there. That was who scored their second goal. It was Majunanin, and it was a filthy goal. He hit it. It was going wide, but it took an awful deflection from the Toronto player. And then it was Westberg from Toronto was just like, he was caught totally flat-footed, and it just went into the opposite side of the goal. Oh. It was a filthy, horrible, dirty goal. But, I mean, I'm not surprised that Majunanin scored one of those. They've got a decent attack. It's just Acosta who just gets us every single time. Brent is coming to a little bit of form. He just hasn't lived up to the hype that we all thought when he was coming into MLS, being that young Brazilian starlet. But I'm going to go, man, Acosta is going to get a goal. For me, that's probably, I feel like he scores every time we play against him. But I'm going to go with something absolutely absurd. I'm going to go 4-1 Atlanta United.
Wow. Well, you got a lot of goals there. Who's scoring them?
I've got to go with Martinez. I'm going to go Araujo with 2. And I feel like someone like Rossetto. Yeah, I'll go with someone like Rossetto scoring a goal too.
Okay. Tim, what are you thinking?
Same.
4-1?
4-0, actually.
Wow.
4-0. Yeah, 4-0. I like the way our defense is playing.
Who's scoring?
Yeah, I think Araujo gets 1, Joseph with 2, and then Anton Walks with the 4th.
Okay.
It's been a while since he scored.
I agree that I think it's going to be Atlanta by a hefty margin. I don't think it's going to be quite as high as you guys are thinking. I agree with Dan's point. I think Atlanta will concede 1, and I think it's going to end up being Atlanta 3 and Cincy 1. So 3-1 Atlanta. I've got Araujo, Joseph, and I think Brooks Lennon gets 1 on the board.
That would be nice. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I'd love to see that too.
Around the trap, we've got Stephen Perales 4-1 Atlanta, Jay Hannibal 2-0, Brittany S 3-1 Atlanta, Barco, Arujo, and Joseph. Richard Gordon 3-0 Atlanta. Let's see. Is there Elliot Bevan, Atlanta versus Cincy 3-0. Chiefs coach Steve 3-0 Atlanta with Joseph with a brace and Arujo. All right, Dan, what do we got for DC United?
DC, they're playing Chicago midweek, which is kind of annoying because they've got a real cupcake in there. DC are in relatively decent form. I mean, they had a 3-loss skid. You know, they lost to Nashville 5-2, lost to New England 3-2, lost to Atlanta 2-1. So, you know, they're slightly getting better. And then they beat Philly 3-1. And then drew with Red Bulls this past weekend, 1-1. So current win-loss draw record is 9-4-10. They've got 31 points, 23 games, same as Atlanta, and +3 in the goal difference. So, I mean, we're neck and neck with DC. There's barely much separating the two. I think, you know, if you're going the way the teams are right now, DC and Atlanta, you would think because Atlanta are in the ascendancy, and I feel like we've said that the past few weeks, it's either going to be time after we thrash the pants off of Cincinnati that this is going to be a more cagey, game, just because the guys are tired and there's quite a lot on the line for this DC game. You know, this could be whoever wins this at the end of the week could potentially, one is in the playoffs, one is out the playoffs, depending on what goes around them. But there's a very real possibility that this game would define that. I mean, DC are just a interesting team. Julian Gressel has been playing really well. Kevin Paredes, I believe he's attracting interest from Europe. He has been one of the stars in their team. I think he's like, I'm just looking at the overall ranks of their players. He's like the 4th ranked player, with Andy Nahar, of course, their number 1. So you're going to have Paredes, Gressel, and Nahar surely in the lineup. You're going to be wanting to play your best players in this match to take 3 points off the other team. So also Birnbaum's been that guy. Pines has been another guy at center defense who's been another guy who's been pretty rock solid. So I think they'll probably play a back 3. They'll probably have Gressel out on the wing, Paredes on the wing too, and then Nahar, probably Junior Moreno instead of Skundich. But you got to have Russell Knaus in there, even though he doesn't get very good ratings. He's just a big dirty body who will just do the dirty work. Yeah, I'm always impressed with Russell Knaus because he will just do the work that nobody else wants to do. And then of course you're going to have Paul Arriola in there, and then Kamara up top. So it's how we deal. I feel like with the wings, we can potentially take. I think we have the ability to take over the central midfield with this. Against DC, which really worked to our benefit against Orlando. I mean, there was no push, like Nashville came in, just pushed us out to the wings, and we just couldn't get anything going. But this case, we've got a strong midfield, and we'll have to have our top guys in there to dominate that midfield to eventually, hopefully get a win over DC. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Atlanta against DC. I'm going to say that Aroju gets one, and then Barker gets one. And then we'll all be on our merry way, but we'll probably either draw or lose.
We're going to be firmly in playoff picture after that match.
What are you calling?
1-0 Atlanta.
Oof.
Barco.
That's probably going to be the actual score.
Yeah, Tortellini time for like probably 40 minutes of that match.
I think it's Tortellini time the entire match. I think the short week, I think both teams maybe. I don't see that game being really high scoring, and I'm actually going to call 0-0. I just think both teams end up locking horns, and nobody comes the better of it, honestly. But we'll see. And which doesn't hurt Atlanta either. That result is next best thing to a win, I guess. Let's see what we got for results from everyone here. Let's see. Michelle says 3-0. I don't know if that was with Cincy or not. Okay. Jay Henneball 1-0 over DC. Elliot Bevan. Atlanta beats DC 3-1 with a Joseph hat trick. I would love to see that shit. Brittany S. 2-1 Atlanta with Joseph and Moreno scoring. Steven Perales 2-0 win. Arujo Megs Gressel for poetic reasons. I love that too. Richard Gordon 2-0 Atlanta, continuing the clean sheets. Brittany S. does have a really good point that we'll have Sosa back for that match.
Yep, great point.
Chiefs coach Steve, shots fired, saying Dan has been stealing his picks. 2-1 Atlanta with Barco and Miles scoring. Like that one too.
That's how I roll.
Avant-garde. So I like it. It's a good mix there. All right. Well, hopefully by the time we have our next show, we are sitting for snow. I was clicking it off. You going to click it off, or you want me to click it off? You just want to keep. I'm going to throw up.
I've got a question for you both. So, CONCACAF Champions League resumes this week. Are you pulling for the last remaining MLS team to make it to the final, potentially win this for the growth of the reputation of American soccer?
Of course.
What about you, Tim?
MLS. It just means more down here. No, I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Because even if who's still left? Philly.
Yep. So Philly are playing Club America. Monterrey playing Cruz Azul.
Is Seattle still in it?
No, Seattle were not in it.
Oh, gotcha.
It says Philly and who else, Dan? Sorry.
Philly are playing Club America, and then Monterrey are playing Cruz Azul on the other
okay,
side.
Gotcha. I mean, yeah, as much as I dislike the shithousery of Jim Curtin, it would be good for the growth of MLS. It would be a big feather in the cap for the league too. It is tough to it's even more impressive to me if we can get an MLS champion, just because we start before the season ever starts and everybody else is in full swing by the time CONCACAF's Champions League starts. Yeah, I guess I would pull for Philly. I mean, I don't like cheering for any Philadelphia sports teams, but it kind of hurts me to my soul. But next thing you know, I'm going to be throwing batteries at people. It's a slippery slope. So.
Yeah, I am not cheering for Philly at all. They can go fuck themselves. I am Club America over Philly. I do not care about the growth of MLS within this little game that's going to be going on Tuesday. If anyone's going to win the Champions League in MLS the first time, it's going to be goddamn Atlanta fucking United. Right? That's what's going to happen. That's what I want. None of these other teams. I only care about Atlanta, and that's it.
All right. I like it.
Yeah.
Us too, but also maybe Philly. We'll see.
Yeah, Philly will probably win it now.
All right. I think that does it for us for tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, hanging out with us. If you want to continue hanging out with us, you can find us all on Twitter at Home Before Dark. That's before spelled B and the number 4. You can find us individually across different platforms. Dan, where can they find you?
You can find me at To the Power of Dan on Peloton. I deleted Twitter again, so I'm just kind of off it for a little while. My life's got a lot better for doing it.
Yeah,
right on.
I actually went into screen time and put on parental controls on my phone. I can't open Twitter or Facebook on my phone anymore, and it's been nice.
Nice.
The only thing that's a little annoying is it doesn't auto, like whenever you start typing, it doesn't give you suggested anymore, like for search results or anything. But anyway, yeah.
So they can't find you anywhere, which is good to know.
Mm-hmm. You can find you at home before dark. Between
Instagram,
the hours
you said you're off Instagram too now?
of 8 and 9.
Me, no. Dan,
Okay.
no, me,
Tim.
no. I'm still on there.
All right.
That's
Where do they
the
find
one
you?
thing. I feel like that's the most innocuous of the social medias.
It is the most tolerable for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you can find me at Tim Herb.
Find me as well at the architect. That's at @the_ARC #1 TECT. Thank you guys so much. If you found us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, smash that bell icon to get a notification each and every time we go live. We'll see you next week. Win, lose, or draw. Until then, as always, be home before dark.
Cincinnati's ranked America's 25th worst city to live on, purely based on skyline chili and like the fact that they put bananas in chili too, which is disgusting.